So now that we have a top and a bottom lower third, we're going to go ahead and add one more element into this transition logic scene. And this time what we'll do is just add some type of upper left or an upper right bug. So I'm going to start again here by adding a group, and let's call this one bug group, and we're going to throw everything inside of this group here. I again am going to add another group here, and let's just call this one bug design, and that's where I throw all of my design elements. So I'm going to go into the built-ins, and again we're going to use a built-in object here. Let's use a Nagi this time. You can use whatever you want. So I'm just going to increase my or decrease my bevels here all the way down. I'm just going to make the width to about 50, and then I'm just going to move this up into the upper left. I'm also going to colorize it. We have no color generator for the Nagi, so I can just use a material here. I'm just going to use a yellow color. Now this yellow doesn't look so bright, so I'm going to click on it. Above the trash can we have this little button here. I can just turn the shading off quickly by using that. It makes it a little bit brighter. Next I just need to animate this Nagi in. So what I'm going to do is, again, it's at 30 and it's at the place where I want it to go. I'm going to hit set keyframe. I'm going to rewind my timeline, and I'm just going to have this Nagi drop in. So I'm just going to raise it on the Y position and hit set key. It created an animation here, so I'm going to click on this animation to go to the stage. You can actually see that it added it in the L3 director, and that's exactly where I do not want it. So I need to create a new director here. I'm going to rename this director bug, and I'm going to drag this Nagi into that new director. Now next step, we need to add our stop points. So in the out state here, I'm going to click add stop, highlight, and name it capital O. I'm going to navigate to my next keyframe, highlight my director, add a stop point, and this one I'm going to call A. Now we should be all set with our animations. Last thing that I need to do here is to add a toggle group in here. So I'm going to add it into my bug group, and this toggle group needs to be called the same thing as our director, which is bug. So I'm going to type in bug here. I'm going to navigate to my built-ins, go to my CP folder, into my container, and add this toggle onto the group. I'm going to click on my toggle, and I'm going to hit default keyframes. You see it added this animation here. And if we go into stage, it also added some extra directors here that we'll be using later. So everything looks good here. I'm going to take a snapshot of this, and we're going to call this one bug, and we're going to save our scene. Now what we need to do is create another scene here for the bug callup. So I'm going to go ahead and right click and say create new scene. We're going to call this bug callup. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and open this new bug callup scene. First thing that I'm going to do is drag my snapshot in there so I know where the placement is. And I'm going to start off by adding a group, and then going in and getting my font here and adding this. So I'm going to drag this down. I'm going to position my font over on top of my box here. Let's change the text. We'll say this is going to say alive. So we'll reposition this, scale it down a little bit, and we'll also add a quick material on it so that we'll see it a little bit better. Don't forget about the Z space. I'm going to move this out to 2 so that there is separation from the background. Now, even though we may not even need to change the text on this, I'm going to add a control text. And when I do that, it adds this object. I'm going to click on the object. I can give it a description, so let's just type in bug, and then we're going to come down here and turn on transition logic. Again, the background scene, that's easy. We know what that is. That's called master. The layer identifier, we called it bug, and the state identifier, we called it A. So before I save this, I just want to turn off my image in the background scene, and I'm going to hit save. And next step from here would be go into Trio and test this out. Okay, so once in Trio, what I'm going to do is just re-import all of these scenes. So I'm going to navigate to my folder here, go into the folder, and I'm just concerned with the callup scenes. So I'm going to highlight the bug callup, our L3 bottom callup, our L3 top callup, and I'm going to slide these into our database here in Trio. I'm just going to create quick one-off saved pages from this. So here's one page, and I'm just going to call this one lower third top. I'm going to save it, name it 1000. Here's another one. We're just going to call this one L3 bottom. We'll save that. And then the bug 2, we'll just change this to a series of numbers here. just so that we'll be able to see it. Now next step, we just need to test this, and again I like to right click and do a direct take, so let me just minimize, and now I'm going to start with the L3 bottom and do a direct take. Now first time you run this, especially on a local machine here, it may bring everything up, so first I'm just going to go back and do a direct take out on everything. Now I'm going to start again and do a direct take. So when I do a direct take, what is happening here is that it's saying we're starting at stop point O and going to stop point A. And when I do a direct take out, what it's going to do is go the exact opposite. It's going to start, so it's going to go from stop point A to stop point O. So once I hit that, it goes out. Now same thing with the L3 top. When we do a direct take, it's going from left to right, from stop point O to stop point A. So that comes up, and when I do a direct take out, it's going from right to left, stop point A to stop point O. And the bug, let's try the bug. Again, same thing. When I do a direct take, it's going from stop point O to stop point A. And when I do a direct take out, it's going from stop point A to stop point O. So each individual element here looks like it's working, and if we bring everything on at once, or so that it's on screen at once, now we can kind of go through each of these saved off pages, and when we do a direct take for one of them, it changes each text here and kind of transitions to each text. So if we want to do a direct take out on everything, we can just hit this and do a direct take out. If we quickly jump back into our server here and within our master scene, now this scene was not very complicated. We're only dealing with 3 animations basically, or 3 elements, and each one of these elements actually comes in and goes out the same way. In future tutorials, we'll talk about how to make elements come in one way but go out another way. This tutorial was mainly just for the fundamentals of getting the naming conventions down and theory down of transition logic, and you can expand on it from here.